Welcome to the Four Wards Podcast. Hey, what's up? It's Eric Bra, voice of Draven, Jerks, and Vel'Koz. And you're listening to the Four Wards Podcast, here to help you move forward in League.
Hey, everybody, what's up? Oh.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Wow. Live.
Just got the beer burps as soon as I started saying that. I'm like, oh shit. Anyways.
Classic.
This is the Four Wards Podcast. Thanks everyone for joining us here in podcast land and or on Twitch. We're loving it that you're here with us this week. Okay, so started off, I have Badger with me.
Hello, everyone.
Thallium.
Hello, hello.
And Battleship 99, also known as George P. Burdell.
Living in the dark, as always, apparently.
Also known as soon to be hacked. Thanks, Ever.
I get what's right behind you, behind your right shoulder.
This?
Yeah.
That's my microphone.
Oh, that's your.
A little
oh,
further back, man.
No. From my side, I couldn't tell what it was. It looked like you had a T-shirt wrapped with rubber bands, or like a really weird, really large pair of headphones hanging from your shelf behind you.
I thought you were asking about the model plane hanging from the ceiling.
Oh yeah, there's a plane back there too.
That's definitely a plane. I'm not arguing that point.
Okay.
No. Chances are,
we're on the
if
same
you see
page.
something janky with rubber bands, it's probably something from my computer.
Gotcha. Just
Nice.
holding everything together with the rubber bands.
Yep.
That can't be good if it starts to get warm.
Well, it happens. I'm in Georgia, so we'll see.
Right. Just gets all hot and sticky down there. No one likes it.
Stay
Well.
dry.
Yeah. No one likes it. Not even Georgia.
It's terrible.
They wish it
Getting
was still on
hurricanes soon,
fire.
but-
Oh yeah, that'll be good. Just make everyone completely even more sticky than before, I guess.
That could
Moist.
be taken one of like 17 different ways. So
I don't think that's like anyone's first thought in the middle of a hurricane.
Hmm?
I shouldn't say
Yeah.
no one. It's like, well, we're stuck in
There's
this
somebody out
basement
there.
and there's nothing to
Oh.
do for the next 3 days except screw our brains out.
Shame we don't have a way of cleaning ourselves off.
Oh god. Okay, let's get stuff started here for this week.
Glad we're improving over the tenor of last week.
Yeah. That's just it's all it goes back to, really. Should just start what's the name? No, I'm not gonna forget it, not gonna get into that. A little bit of news here for this week, and that's it. We talked about it last week a little bit. The T-Force RPG, It's a Long Story, is coming back starting next week. Our little season 2. It's a whole new world, pretty much new cast. If you want to check it out, it'll be up on iTunes, Stitcher, and posted on Twitch and hopefully YouTube as well. If you haven't checked out the first season, go back, listen to that. It's really fun. I love doing that with those guys. And that's it for news, anyways. So we're going to start out this week here. We talked about it last week. No, we didn't talk about it last week. I wanted to do it last week, but the week
they didn't have it
before,
up.
they didn't have it up. It's finally up. The Star Guardian quiz is here. Still just tanking computers around the world with how much it takes to just load this site. So
it loaded up just fine for me. So
yeah, I don't know what the two of you are having a problem with this, but
I'll try one more time just to see.
okay. But if not, we'll do it like as a collective, so we can we can find out which Star Guardian is going to represent the podcast. And I know Asdorition's going to be really pissed if it's not Lux.
I'm gonna try and make it not Lux. So
You're going to actively
Rich,
try
if
to...
you're listening, I love you, buddy,
Okay.
but Lux is not gonna represent the podcast. I'm sorry.
All right. Ready? All right, question one. Question one. Take everything from me but my... And the options are friends, purpose, freedom, happiness, or intellect? Friends, purpose, freedom, happiness, or intellect? First thoughts? Anybody?
Friends.
See, I could see friends. You know, take everything from me but my friends.
What if
I mean-
happiness is my purpose?
Well, I've been smart my entire life. I haven't always had friends. And there's certain sections of my life I'm a lot more happy than others.
See, I'm fine. Like, you can take my happiness. I usually don't have that anyways. I'm fine with that. So we'll rule out happiness. We don't care. Intellect, out the window. No, we're fine being.
I mean, it's like second. It's like friends, intellect.
Okay, I'm not too smart either, so I'm not losing a whole lot. We can rule out purpose. What about freedom?
America.
You want to Braveheart this shit?
America.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be registered traitors after this, but yeah, I think we can strike it off.
All right, so friends,
You guys-
friends it is.
Friends, for sure.
Yeah,
Take
friends.
everything from me but my friends.
Jesus,
All
how many
right.
questions is this?
We'll
I'm actually
find
rolling
out.
through it. I'm
When
just
is
going
a
in.
light at its brightest? When is a light at its brightest? When it's uncovered, true light never fades, or after the darkest nights?
See,
Is this measured in lumens or
I-
like?
There's got to be like some sort of like snarky meter, because the second answer, true light never fades, is like really high up there. When is light at its brightest? It never fades, asshole.
Yeah. True light never
I-
fades. Dick.
I can get down with that one.
All right. What would you abandon to protect yourself? And the only answers
Ever
are
what?
no. The only answers are nothing and everything.
Well,
That's it. All or nothing.
God damn it.
can
I-
I just like ditch her or something?
I guess I would fit into the nothing category.
Oh,
Well, I figured out which one I am, and I'll say it at the end.
Okay, gun to your head.
I don't.
What do you abandon?
Nothing.
Just
Sure.
go out like a champ.
Wait. what is it I'm saving again?
Protect yourself.
Oh, myself.
Mhm. That's why I said gun to your head, not to Badger's head.
Probably nothing. Yeah.
All right. We're selfish pricks. Okay.
There we are.
A photo of your true love sits in front of you. What does it show? There's a lot of answers for this one.
Aw.
So we'll go through these, and we'll kind of like after each one, tell me if you like it or not. Your beloved sleeping under a willow. Very specific for that one.
Yes, sure. Why not?
It was a Shakespeare.
Your family gathered around a dinner table. God, no.
No.
There's never much love around a dinner table with family. Okay, so a distant beach under a clear blue sky.
No.
There's no one there. It's just okay. An open road stretching into the horizon.
Nope.
A view from atop a mountain.
Nope.
I like mountains, but probably not true love.
So we're going right under a willow.
Yep.
All right.
You know,
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say that as the married man whose wife definitely is not listening to this podcast right
You
now.
never know. You never know. You have to be careful. Okay, you enter a dark room and hear something move. What do? Reach out and swing at it. Turn on a light to see what it is. Hold fast and wait for it to reveal itself, or I call out to it.
What? I'll just turn on the light, I guess. If the switch is right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
depends on
let's
what the
assume the
switch is.
switch is right there, or you're holding a flashlight.
But you're
your
losing the
lux.
potential for drama in your life. Don't you want us to walk into a dark closet, hear something move, and then come out, you foul fiend?
I mean, isn't the drama like the whole reveal?
No.
Like the
that's the dramatic part itself is the reveal. So.
yeah.
But,
But do you turn on the light or wait for it to reveal itself?
That's too. How long would it take to reveal itself, though?
Let's say about an hour and a half if we're going by the standard horror movie.
Jesus, just turn on the fucking light.
I would like to think any monsters invading my closet would have a good sense of dramatic timing.
I just love to see
But-
Badger like in a movie theater watching a horror movie. The monster walks in. You just turn on the goddamn light.
I actually
whole
did that
time.
at a movie one time.
Oh god.
Because I was like, there was like 5 of us, and we were the only ones in the theater.
Mhm.
I was sitting there, I'm like, dude, just turn on the light. Come on.
Okay, so Badger's going for the light. Anyone objecting?
I'm all about the light.
I mean, you all won't want the light. I still say let him use that dramatic sense, but if you want to crush his careers and hopes and dreams, go for it.
All right, Badger, one thing. You know this is probably in favor of Lux, right?
Worth it.
All right. How will the world remember you? A hero? An artist? As a scholar? As a leader? Or as nobody? Slowbo is pessimistic shit in here.
I'm gonna throw out Scholar.
As a scholar?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give this one the thallium here.
I was like, yeah, just give him the
Yeah.
light.
Okay.
That's fine.
Together we soar. Together we fight. Together we stand. Or together we fall.
How about together we stand and make snorking comments?
Okay, would that be fight or stand?
I'd say
Then.
stand.
That's definitely stand.
That's standing.
All right.
Standing.
Fighting's actual work. We mock those people.
Yes.
All right. Oh, God, we're like halfway through. You wake up
Oh,
and
God.
everyone has forgotten you. What do? Do you move on with your life? Do you become someone better? Or do you make them remember you? Everyone's forgotten you.
Aw.
You're totally
Move
alone
on
in the
with-
world.
Keep moving on.
Move on.
Go Guardian Ocean.
Be careful here, Thallium. You don't know who's listening. Do you make them remember? Or do you become someone better?
That seems a little
Stalker?
aggressive.
Yeah.
To make them. You'll remember me. With sunshine and rainbows.
Aw.
I'll be someone better, I guess.
Be someone better. Move on with your
Or-
life. I think we can
Well,
do both at the same
I
time.
had
Yeah,
the
I-
intention to be someone better, but I'll probably just like, oh, cool, I guess I'll go play video games now.
It's like, generally speaking, I always am trying to just become a better person in general.
Yeah. No,
Like,
that's
even when that doesn't happen.
Uh-huh.
So,
So when okay.
I mean,
All right.
I'm
next-
older than all of you, and I've already achieved perfection, so
Wow.
but- that's how I got there.
Oh my God,
Okay.
teach us. Next question here. Question 9. In my dreams, I am in a strange new world with those I love, reliving the past, superhuman, or leaving everything behind.
well, that's depressing.
None of these are.
Strange New World.
It's either a strange new world or undying.
We're talking about actual dreams and not like
Right.
daydream fantasy.
No,
Not
I'm talking like my
aspirations,
actual
though, correct?
dreams. It's either the two extremes of dreams I usually have is either I somehow make really good songs in my dreams that like the last one I sort of remember was like a Schoolhouse Rock type song trying to explain gravitational waves.
Huh.
And the other extreme is dying in a basement to a giant tarantula while it slowly eats me alive.
Wow.
Those are the
that's-
extremes.
See, one of those
You
I'd
remember
realize-
those.
One of those I'd realize for a dream, and it's because I don't make good songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like I wake up and like, I lost it. Fuck. Because like
I
in
don't
my
remember
dreams,
most of my
goddamn, this is
dreams.
awesome.
A reoccurring theme though is some beautiful woman tries to seduce me, and I go, "No, I'm married."
Wow.
Oh.
Look
And then
at
I wake
you.
up, I'm like, "Well, that was
Okay. You're next to your wife.
Is
Hey,
your wife sitting
hey,
in the room right now?
you don't even know what I do
she's
for
not
you.
actually. She's out."
You just wake
Oh,
up next
so
to your wife. I've turned down
that's-
so many women in my dreams because of you. I hope you know that.
Hey,
She
that's a good
thinks
way to do
that's
it.
really dumb of me, actually. She's
Yeah.
like, really? You're dreaming. What's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know.
I just love you so much.
In
All
my
right.
life world.
So we're going Strange New World.
Yeah.
Sure, let's go with that.
All right,
A
let's-
whole new world.
Okay, so let's say you guys have a secret. Do you share it or hide it?
Hide.
Is it my secret or is it somebody else's secret?
A secret.
Your
Yeah.
secret. Let's go with that. I think. Hey, maybe.
I'm not going to go out of my way to tell other people.
Yeah, I say hide. I gaze up at the night sky looking for answers, for peace, strength, life, and the last choice would be stars.
we don't have to discuss this one.
Well,
What is this quiz? Stars. I'm gonna look at the night sky.
Worst poet. Like I looked up.
I'm gonna
at
look for
the-
stars.
In the middle of the day, I looked up and I found the sun.
It was really bright, guys.
We had to go stars.
we have to go.
Yes.
Gaze upon the sun at midday.
Huh, there they
Bathe
are.
in its majesty and get a headache because really, that's really bad for your eyes. Don't do
Have
that.
you guys ever stared at the sun before?
Yeah.
No.
sure.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
haven't? Like even as a kid, I'm not asking like last week or something.
Come
No.
on, you have to have at some point in your life.
Seriously. Everyone told you not to, so your reaction had to be, I have to stare at the sun to see what'll happen.
No.
You try it.
No.
It's you start looking at the sun and a halo starts appearing around it that's super bright. And if you keep looking at it for long enough, for about a half hour afterwards, there's just this spot in the middle of your eye that slowly goes from like blue to pink, and it's magical.
Yeah,
After,
because you overloaded the chemicals in your eye.
It's
Can
sun
no-
magic, you asshole.
It's
after
not
Sun magic.
after I realized how bad the sun was, I
Mhm.
started using football stadium lights for the same effect.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not any better.
but they don't tell you to not look
They
at the
don't-
football stadium.
Just don't look at the
So it's
football
okay.
stadium lights.
Just don't look at bright lights in general. Like, ta-da.
There are only so
Lasers,
many
Like a
chemicals in
five.
your eye that can absorb and transmit the information, and when you overload them, they need time to regenerate.
You already picked scholar. We get it. Okay.
Rods and cones.
Okay. Beauty is enchanting or distracting. What? It's distracting more than any. As
Yes.
a guy, I can
Yeah,
say it's
yeah,
distracting
kinda.
as hell. Yeah, well, I'm going distracting. Your journey is full of stories, sketches, poems, ideas, or to-do lists.
Are these drawings
Your
or
journal.
like Monty Python
Journal is-
sketches?
I'm
I imagine
gonna
they're
go the
drawing.
latter.
Because I can get down with the Monty Python sketches.
Uh-huh. Okay. No to-do lists in your journal? Wait, I think it's probably like I think sketches means more of like drawings because there's stories in there too. That's an option.
Mine's gonna have doodles and to-do lists, but
Okay, doodles. Let's just go doodles.
sketches.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready to find out? That was the last one.
Oh, that was the last one?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, there's
Badger,
only, like,
you're gonna be
15 questions.
you're gonna be so happy.
It's
It's not
isn't it?
nice.
All right,
Forgot.
you ready to find out? Can I get a drum roll? Congratulations! You are Star Guardian Jinx. Hey!
Hey.
Hey,
That's the
How
best.
exciting.
The best
Get
skin
excited,
out of
you
all
guys.
of them.
We get the expensive one.
Yeah.
I got Jana when I did it, so
Oh, that's too bad.
tiny violin.
Ah, you are a rebellious spirit who craves freedom above all. It takes some time for you to warm up to people, but once you make a friend, there's nothing you won't do to protect them. You're annoyed by people trying to run your life and find a regular routine boring. You may doubt yourself at times, but your true friends know that you will accomplish incredible things. You swallow gum probably more often than you should.
That is actually very true. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't.
Yeah.
actually blow bubbles. So yeah.
Okay, poll here real quick. Who actually swallows their gum instead of spits it out?
I do.
Dalian?
You have to say something. Valiant's the only one.
Again. You don't stare at the
Scholar.
sun.
Scholar for a reason.
Hey,
don't
remember
stare at the
earlier
sun,
today
you
when I said I was already achieved perfection? That's part of it.
not swallowing gum and not staring
Correct.
at the sun? You were a boring kid.
Also correct.
All right. Okay, so that was the quiz. What else? What else do we have going on this week? Oh shit! Yeah,
The biggest news of all.
fucking giant bomb dropped this week. Replays are coming. Actually, I think this is real because it's way too far away from April Fool's.
They're already on PBE. Like Alpha
Yeah,
on
it's
PBE.
like what happened to make them change?
So what I think was happening is that third parties already have replays, right?
Right.
So I think what Riot wanted to do was to spend the time to do things with replays that third parties can't do, like the timeline they have, for example.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Like, if you go like the match history stuff, you can go and see like when towers were taken, when there were large team fights, Barons, inhibitor, stuff like that. That's all going to be integrated into the replays, if I'm understanding this right.
Well, it sounded like they're trying to combine like replay.gg and Plays TV in the same thing. Because
right, so
you know,
they can,
your Plays TV will just watch whatever it was that you were looking at any given moment. But if you went to replay.gg or one of the other ones, you would be able to go spectator mode. Like, oh, I want to see this again in slow motion and fast motion. That's one of the problems I have with Plays, that I can't slow it down at all. I thought that would be really nice. But also they addressed in the post itself about one of the problems is the thing that breaks Plays TV every patch.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Not
that's
Plays
just
TV,
not.
sorry.
well-
Replay.gg. Every time you try to
Yeah.
go to see something from replay.gg and it's a game that was from the previous patch, it like corrupts your client or something. You have to reinstall.
It doesn't like corrupt the client usually as much
definitely
as it just
doesn't
can't
work.
do the replay anymore because it pulls files from the league to use the replay.
Pretty much
So-
it's doing what every other game at this point that has a replay system involved in, and they'll actually take. I saw screenshots of it. They'll take like, you know how when you go into the match history and it's got like the timeline of everything that happened. That's going to be integrated into the scoreboard, so you'll be able to like scroll through and see what's going on and like the recap and everything like that.
Tower
which
was
will make
taken
it-
here, Baron was taken here. Let me go to this point in time and see it.
Yeah.
The other important thing to note is that they have come out and said in the actual client, you will not be able to see replays from more patches. However, you will be able to see the entire game, not just highlights, as a WebM file if you want to.
Right.
And
Those you can like upload.
that's how you'll see old games.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be possible, just not natively through the client.
I'm looking forward to that.
It still sounds like
don't-
the most complete replay system available, especially if it's being
Progress,
integrated
not
into the
perfection.
client. Right.
And it's like OPGG, for example, you have to actually have it go in the first 5 minutes or whatever and ask it to record.
Mm-hmm.
which is a pain in the butt.
So what?
Which is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And other things like LSI do it, but they also take disk space.
Mm-hmm. So what's still on the Riot Please list right now? Because they're knocking them off.
Well, if you do
The
it
document is
back.
yeah.
Sandbox.
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 Sandbox. I think we just said that all at the same time.
Yeah.
Star Guardian or God?
Still need that.
One can dream.
What's
Not
out?
happening.
Graves cigar.
He
Yeah.
vapes now, dude.
Need
Come
that.
on.
Leveling system.
What was that, Badger?
He vapes, dude.
Oh, that's right. That is canon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We need that vape
Riot,
nation.
the Riot Please said that he vapes now.
Yeah.
So.
We need that skin.
Oh, Tablet Lucian. Might as well mention all the. And all you listening to Podcast Land, haberdashing just through the Vape Nation sign up. So give him all the grief that you want in this situation. He just did it again, and
Oh
you
my
can hear
God.
it,
Vape Nation.
just like the video.
This is excellent podcasting material.
All right.
Um,
All the things you can't see.
a better leveling system would be nice.
Better
The
place to
IP,
get rid of
IP is
it.
the IP,
IP?
games is right, please.
Right.
Yeah, IP saying too much.
Death recap.
Oh, yep.
That
Being
it's
broken
pretty
as
shitty.
fuck. I can't tell you how many times I've died to revive. It doesn't make any sense, but there it is. Okay, what else is going on? Oh yeah. So
Should we talk about the solo queue duo queue thing since we just mentioned it as in passing?
Yeah, sure. Let's bring that up here.
Well,
So, changes
too long
for next
didn't
season.
read. Solo queue is going to be back next season, so solo and duo, and then they're going to have flex queue for groups larger than that, and they're just going to be separate ladders. And
Which how
I don't
can my one question in this is if you have a flex group of 3,
Yeah.
does that mean you have to queue as a solo like 4? Let's say you have a flex group of 4. Does that mean someone has to queue in solo in the flex queue to fill your team?
I would
So you just
assume
need that
so.
one
Yeah.
person?
would assume so. I don't know how else it would work.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can definitely queue up solo in flex queue.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but how many people are going to
It'll just be like
queue up
dynamic
solo
queue.
into flex queue
I
instead
would
of
probably actually,
solo queue?
but
Was the
I'm also
solo
a bad
queue?
example.
You get more like coordinations. Like you'll still get like unique rewards at the end of the season for doing flex queue rather than solo duo queue. So there's that at least.
My question on the flex queue thing is: are they going to gate the who you can queue with? You know, right now in dynamic queue, you got to be within a division. But like my fives
Don't
team
think
has.
so, because it's going to
They've
be like
said-
it's going to be a combination with like ranked 5s too. So I don't think they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't gate it because it's a completely different queue. Like you have the MMR of the queue itself.
Yeah, but like even
So-
if you get your flex queue rating, like Punch
Oh,
plays enough flex queue with say my fives team, which is silvers and golds, but he also plays with Proper, who is plats and diamonds, and he gets up to flex queue diamond. Is he still going to be able to queue with flex queue silver people?
I still would assume so.
I would hope so, because otherwise,
They
Bride's
said-
You can
killing
just
my
be like a
fives
boosted
team again.
animal now.
Yeah,
Bronze logic too
They-
strong,
they-
right? Needs to take it down. Although if you
They-
watched our games with Phonophobia on Monday, you would see how ridiculous that statement is. We got hammered twice. It
Oh yeah.
was bad.
What were you
Well,
saying,
Go ahead.
George? What were you saying?
No, sorry, internet was cutting out. They said they were trying to integrate this with the ranked 5s, so
Yeah.
I would be extremely surprised if you couldn't do ranked 5 stuff in this, which means queuing with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that's it. Look forward to that next season.
There is something else I want to say.
Oh, okay.
To compensate for this, they are changing the role selection because so what's going on now is that you queue up for 2 primary roles and then 1 role that you will never be put as.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point to bring up. I think we mentioned it a little last week, or was that off the podcast? Either way.
I think that was on. I'm pretty sure that the news dropped just before we recorded last week.
Okay.
So
I don't remember. I remember hearing that for the first time today. So
Yeah. So and the reason they're doing this is if they're going to split up if they're going to split it up into 2 queues, they're going to have more than 2 roles for each person.
right.
Just
Mhm.
population wise.
Right.
So you are going to give up a little bit of specialization. They did say they are open to changing it in the future, but for now the plan is 2 primary roles and then 1 role that you will never get.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, so I'm going to keep going through here because we are like halfway through news stuff and we're a good chunk into the podcast
Yeah.
here. So quick one on this one. LOL Esports Wikis has put up flashcards for every single champion. If you're new to the game or want to learn more about a champion, like a quick things about them. Like, so for Aatrox is up. They have his goal, the strength, weakness, ultimate, and tips or mechanics to help you do better at that champion. So, like the mechanic for Aatrox, his passive allows him to revive upon reaching 0 HP. And every single one of those cards links to a more in-depth explanation to that champion. So we're going to link that. It's already, I think, on our subreddit, but we'll throw that in the show notes so everyone can get to it as well. So, yeah, good resource there. Okay, last thing up here. Quick question from, once again, our subreddit. We'll throw it around the room here. This is from, this is from Sith Lord. He is actually working with the Four Wars podcast as well to create videos, which we are working on right now. He and Doom are getting that started and should be releasing those.
Soon TM.
Yeah, soon TM. We'll let you know. Believe me, as soon as they're going up, we'll let you know. So the question was, what is the hardest lesson you had to learn in LoL, and how did you learn it? Does anyone want to start, or I can, if you need a sec?
Go ahead.
So I
Please.
think the hardest lesson for me to learn that took the longest time was learning to manage and control the wave of like minions. Because it's like for the first couple years I played LoL, that was such like a non-factor, something I never really thought about when I was playing. That once I started learning that was a thing and that's something I had to do to get better, it took so long to figure out how the waves work and exactly how much damage the creeps can take for it to be able to push, how fast the lane's going to push, how to be able to freeze effectively, all that sort of stuff like that to benefit yourself in the lane. That was a big thing that I had to learn in LoL.
Yeah, that's a huge one that everybody needs to have a basic concept of, depending on what rank that you're in. And I will say, I guess I'll just transition into mine since I'm already talking.
Do it.
I would say, as a damage dealer, positioning and target prioritization is one of the, I don't want to say it's one of the most difficult things or toughest lessons I've had to learn, but it's been one of the most important ones that I've had to learn, because if you're playing an AD carry and you can get 10 auto attacks off, you need to figure out who at what time those 10 auto attacks on would be the best for the team. So, and getting your abilities out in a timely manner to make sure that the maximum amount of damage gets put across the enemy team. So,
All right. Yeah, let's move on here then. Thallium, you got one ready?
I think the hardest lesson that I'm learning as an ongoing project is proper shot calling. Like, League is a very mental game, and your mental state is very important. More on that next week. But like when you're on a ranked 5s team, where shot calling is incredibly important, more important than it would be with the random pings and the hope for the best it would be in like solo queue. Because you need to be coordinated, because you're all on voice comms and you're listening to each other. And I know that I have a tendency where I'm ostensibly the leader of my rank 5 team, for better or for worse, often for worse. But if things are going badly for me in lane, I will shut down. And then like our comms go silent, and then we're like, what are we doing? Nobody knows. How do you get out of this hole that you dug yourself in, when I'm just so pissed off that if I say anything, I'm probably going to go,
okay, good example.
Curse. So like mental fortitude is important, and then not only just making a call, but making the right call for a given situation, or setting up a play. Like I said, we're all silver and gold and the occasional plat in punch. So when the Proper recently talked about how the very early game is scripted, and then they went off book, we're like, well, we're still learning the script more often than not. We're like, okay, what do we want to do right now versus what do we want to do in 5 minutes? How do we set that up? What do we need to do in the meantime to get there?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm really working on when I have time to work on anything. And it's incredibly difficult all the way up through the LCS.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to work on for sure. George, you thought of one yet?
Well, yeah. First of all, what I want to say, the most painful lesson I was ever taught was that same thing Thalian's learning, but it was by his team. So thank
There
you
you
very
go.
much.
You did well then, Thalion.
We have some good games.
But
Well, that was a pick ban lesson more than anything, I thought. Because George and I's team played a best of free. He keeps freezing, so I guess his audio is probably going to be on the podcast, just not on Skype.
okay.
And we kind of banned him out and then picked his last remaining champion and put his entire team on tilt.
That would do it, yeah.
Now, actually, but the hardest lesson for me to learn, it took the longest, was actually that about climbing rank, actually.
Okay.
Because for a long time, I was just looking at rank, trying to get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized is that trying to climb and improve by focusing on rank is like trying to go faster in your car by staring really hard at your speedometer. You can kind of sort of figure out what you do to make it go faster, but you're missing a whole ton of stuff.
That's a really good analogy. I like that. It's also really kind of fun to do. Also, just stare. Do you ever stare at your speedometer at least, Thalium?
I listen to the
Please
sound of
do-
the engine more
do
than
something.
anything.
Okay.
Driving is fun.
Just tell me one reckless, dumb thing that you do that people always tell people not to do.
Dirt bikes.
Oh.
Do you say drive bikes?
Dirt bikes?
Oh,
dirt bikes in the mountains.
bikes.
I definitely took a turn too fast on a dirt bike, wiped out, ended up in the hospital. That was a day.
There we
I
go.
still have a very nice scar on my left palm, and my right ankle has never been the same.
That's a little sad, but you know what? You feel more alive when you do things like that. You just gotta learn to stare at the sun, man.
It's gonna keep coming back to that, isn't it?
Or I guess like the motto for this podcast should be: you gotta learn to do top lane Lucian.
Yeah.
I
Just
mentioned that
dangerous.
earlier. I beat you to it, man.
It's
Damn
just
it.
as dangerous.
Okay.
I'll go gambling if you want to go to the casino. That's
That's good. That's good.
always a good time.
Yeah. I've never been to a casino, to be fair.
I used to work in one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What did you do? What would you do? Craps?
Well,
Blackjack?
I graduated
Poker?
college, and my friend says, "Hey, do you want to go to Ireland for a while?" I said, "Sure," and then we got a job dealing poker
In Ireland?
in a casino. Yeah,
Wow.
I got paid in brown envelopes full of cash every week.
Wow.
That's kind of shady.
That's actually kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. That's
Back when
actually
I was
awesome.
Badger's age, I was.
Yeah, that sounds
working
like
with
something
the
that would happen.
triads.
That sounds like something that would happen in the 1920s. You and your buddy, fresh out of school, going around seeing the world, working in casinos, getting paid in big bags of money at the end of the week.
Drinking all of the liquor we could stomach.
Times were better back then. Oh, God.
Factually
Okay.
accurate.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah. Okay. Moving on here. Correspondent piece this week, changing it up a little bit this time. We're having. I don't think we ever agreed how to say his name, and I never asked. I should have asked, and he never said it in the audio. So I'm just gonna try to say it as phonetically as possible.
Good
Cosine.
luck.
Okay, so cosine times I sine times 2. Just I'll say cosine for short for right now. Anyways, as his name implies, he's big on math. So he is talking this week about math in League of Legends, specifically when it comes to calculating armor and magic resist for effective health. So take your time, listen to this. I'm sure you'll walk away knowing a little bit more about League of Legends at the end of it. So fun fact about this. When he sent in the audio for this, he also included a PDF file of the assignment he handed out to his class, which was basically the same examples that he did for the audio, just made for like everyone. So given that Rammus has yada yada armor and you buy Thornmail with yada yada armor, calculate the effective health. It was just all these examples like this. And the fact that he sent this out to his class is pretty hilarious. So good job.
Proud of you. And
there you go.
7 kids in your class that probably play League of Legends.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
So,
yeah, I don't think I can say a whole lot more. And that trying to not get him in trouble or anything. So.
Right.
yeah.
Right, Thallium.
Right.
Well, I mean, if it was relevant coursework, then if it was a real math problem,
Like they were. There's it's just different applicability. Like these are the times when math actually comes in use. It's very useful stuff. Okay.
Math is important.
It is.
It really is.
All right, questions for this week. We got time for a couple, I am guessing at least. So we'll take it back. Will wrote in last time. Says, thanks for your feedback on level 2 invades. Triforce on Vi and keeping up in Jungle Farm. I was around Bronze 2 when I wrote that question, and I'm currently Silver 5, and I thought I would provide some feedback on what I've learned from level 2 invades since then, as well as get your thoughts on an additional question. So we're going to start with the question. I don't think we're going to read the rest of it on air, because it's... You say you wrote a doozy last time. This is not any shorter.
This is actually like a whole page in the doc.
Right.
Like, holy cow.
Like it makes it
It's
look
a
like we have a
small
lot of
novella.
questions. Okay, so the question, I mean jungle and secondary top. I rarely get top, and I'm not super great at it. When I do get it, generally, I try to pick champions who have something built into their kit to make up for this. My go-to picks are J4 and Pantheon. Thoughts being the J4 passive gives easy trades, and Pantheon's kit gives pretty one-sided trades. I don't expect to be able to stomp lane, but my thought is that this kind of free aggression helps keeps my opponents from going super aggro on me and pushing the wave into my tower and all of the like. Not really a sentence at the end of that. Basically picking someone who can be a lane bully to make up for my lack of experience with solo lanes. This way, at least, I can go even and be irrelevant to my team later. Besides, obviously, just getting better, what do you think my methodology in Champ Select is a reasonable thing? I was reading part of that wrong, I think.
Do
Oh,
you
you
think
read it
my
right.
methodology?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Do you think my methodology in Champ Select is a reasonable thing?
I would say, yeah. I mean...
Well, I
point.
would disagree a little bit, just because. Okay, so he's uncomfortable up there, and he's picking champs that can lane bully and snowball like whoa.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's uncomfortable and inexperienced, the likelihood of you using those champions that you rarely play to snowball or at least go even seems less. Like
The examples
Pantheon.
don't really fit. I'll agree on
Yeah.
that. Like
I feel well. This might be speaking to the fact that George and I are the same safe, controlled mid lane mage player. So,
Mhm.
but my instinct is like, if I were to go top, would be to pick someone safe that has something that's always going to be useful. Something that's always going to be useful is a good instinct. So, like
Well-
the J4 knockup is pretty good always. The J4 ult is pretty good always. But so is like the Malphite ult. The
yeah.
Malphite
So-
ult is never bad.
So yeah, I think the difference there is that mid lane, from what I see, his methodology works for top lane. Mid lane, if you're going aggressive, it's easier to be like pushed back in.
Horribly punished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top lane, you are going to be fighting regardless of who you pick. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
I would-
but
I honestly, if you're gonna play this playstyle in a couple, I would say fairly easier
Mhm.
champs to learn. I mean, you have to manage resources because one is an energy-based champion and the other one
Shen.
runs off of heat. So I would recommend Kennen because
Mm.
as long as you don't dive in like 2 screens ahead of your team, you can land a pretty good slicing maelstrom and get a very impactful team fight off. And Rumble does a really good job if you fall behind a little bit. I mean, his ult's named the Equalizer for a reason.
Right.
He
You
only needs
you
two
lay down
items.
one good Equalizer, and that just turns the game or makes it snowball out of control even further. So those
like-
would be my 2 recommendations.
Yeah, I'm hung up a little bit on because it doesn't make total. Like J4 and Pantheon are the examples because they give easy trades. He says, "I don't expect to be able to stomp the lane. I just want to keep my opponent from getting aggro on me and pushing the wave into my tower." Like when you're playing J4 and Pantheon in lane, up in top lane, really you want to be the one that's like. If you go even or are like just working for farm, especially in top lane, you're going to come out of that match behind once it comes into team fighting phase because you've wasted a lot of the early potential that you have. Like I think better champions in there, like you said, Rumble is really good for clearing waves. Shen is really safe up top, and you don't have to worry about mana expenditure. He's easy to heal himself as well. There's other champions I think that are be more beneficial for your team. But the whole methodology, like I agree, it's fine taking like champions that you would otherwise play in the jungle in the top lane. But it's just kind of learning the matchups is important and figuring out where the strengths of that champion come from when you're playing them in the top lane.
Well, so for the most part, I agree. But in my personal experience, from what I've found, if you go up as a defensive top laner against an aggressive top laner that knows what they're doing, and you don't, you are going to die.
Right.
Like every time. Even if you are one of the tanks that can deal with being set back. At least if you're on one of the aggressive top laners, they have to respect you to some degree. And might not be quite so aggressive on you, just psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
But like, say you're just playing like a Poppy or something top lane into a Quinn. I don't know. That might be a terrible example, but if the Queen knows what she's doing and you don't,
okay.
She is going to murder you. Just because she knows how to take care of aggression. And aggressive laners like taking advantage of passive ones.
Oh no, yeah, definitely for sure. I guess like I don't know, like I see him like he's not totally experienced as far as the top lane goes, not knowing how to play super aggressive. Like if you can get out trades, that's fine. But like you need to be able to follow up on it as well when you're playing aggressive champions.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, so you quote, "I don't expect to be able to stomp the lane."
Yeah, no.
You should.
That's taking those champions. You should try.
Mm-hmm.
You
Like,
have to win
Of
lane,
course, you're
or
not
else the
going to
pick
do it
doesn't work.
every game, but
Yeah.
you should try. And if you're worried about someone just shoving the wave into your tower all the time, I guess learn to CS under tower, which is one of those basic skills that everyone should learn at some point.
Or you just pick a control mage and the wave is never under your tower.
True.
Play Lucian.
Ooh, it's magic.
Lucian's a tank.
Yeah.
Lucian,
Oh,
Third
God.
time tonight.
Three times.
Third time.
George, you
We're
gotta
just
you
a
gotta get a
fucking
reference
record.
into that at some point by the end of the night. Okay?
We'll just like have a counter on the side, and we'll get a dinging noise into the podcast every time we mention Lucian top lane.
Maybe
That
that'll
still
be
counts
one
into
of
the
Extra Life is coming up. For every time we
Yeah, there we
mention
go.
Lucian top, we
Yeah.
have to donate X amount of money to Extra
I
Life.
will play Lucian top during Extra Life. There we go.
But you
If
have
we
to
have
build
Alright.
Tyr
incentive.
and Mallet too.
Tyr
Be on the
and
lookout for
Mallet.
that
Yeah.
on the
And you
subreddit
also
in like a
you also
month.
have to TP flank. So
Oh
Mhm.
gosh. Oh no,
It's not going to be fun. Don't worry.
it's not.
Extra Life is not about you having a good time, Badger.
Yep.
It's not.
It's about singing Disney princess songs.
oh yes.
Super fun stuff.
Speaking of Extra Life, yeah, maybe later. We'll
Yeah.
mention details later on. So
Yeah,
Details are
we got a little
coming.
bit of
Keep
time.
an eye out.
yeah, plenty of time.
So, Will, thanks for writing in. I think we got a little bit sidetracked halfway through that question. Andy Lanru. Andy Lanru. And yeah, okay. No, I'm thinking too
I
much
think that's
about
what
it.
is.
All right, this is actually from a Reddit post here. Okay, I'd be interested in hearing what you guys think about what every team needs, such as one peeler, one tank, one high damage DPS, one tank again. Okay. Also, I'm curious, what do you think people should pick first if your teammates are not showing their future picks, i.e. tanky versus high damage versus lots of disables? I find that if I don't pick someone who can tank, there's a decent chance my team will end up with no tank.
This one's difficult because really, when you
Yeah.
draft a comp in fives, you have a mentality of you're gonna poke, you're gonna pick people, you're gonna hard engage, you're gonna wait for them to engage, then disengage, and then re-engage again, or you've got to have
It's-
certain goals in mind.
Yeah, it's more like about overall team synergy than individual like comps. Like, it's not so much that you need to have like 2 tanks, a healer, and 2 DPS in that sort of form. Like, I remember about a year ago, Riot released more informatic graphs about like win statistics as far as like playing tanks versus melee, like DPS and stuff like that, and healers. Teams that had like 2 tanks on them had a slightly higher win rate than teams that just had 1, which had a much higher rate than 0. But even then, like the distribution was plus or minus like 5%, and that's still going to vary in the game you're in.
Realistically speaking, and this is just coming from what I like to draft in teams, is you generally have like a tank, an off tank, a support, a mage, and
80
the
carry.
consistent DPS. Yeah,
Right.
the 80 carry, pretty much. That's what you're looking for in an ideal team. That can vary from time to time as roles change up and champions get picked.
Mhm.
So sometimes your mid laner can be your off tank if he's playing a Vladimir,
Or-
and your top laner can be your mage if it's playing like a Jace or something
Or
along
like
that caliber.
If you have like a
Rumble
Braum
Kennen.
or Alistar in the bot lane, that's your off tank right there.
That's the off tank, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
No.
that's good guidelines for when you're not going for something specific like a poke comp.
Yeah, just,
The other thing, teams with tanks don't necessarily intrinsically win. The issue is they have more room for error.
that's a
So
good point to make. Yeah,
You
Correct.
can easily beat a team with a tank on it without one. The issue is you have to be on point and make very few mistakes to do so.
Mhm.
While the team with a tank can make those mistakes because they have someone to soak up some of the resulting damage.
yeah.
I was going to mention that with the Badger said the rules change and whatnot, and the picks change and the comps change, and you can see that a lot even now with LCS being what it is, or Worlds as it is now. We will have lots of people in the jungle of different varieties. Elise, and then we have Nidalee, who will play very different, and then there's Graves is coming out as well. And Kindred used to be the hotness,
Oh,
not to
Kindred.
mention Rek'Sai, and those are
Kindred's-
just the one jungle role that has like 4 different archetypes in it.
Yeah.
And
Right
even
there.
if you look at Worlds, like a number of those teams don't have tanks because they're doing other things.
Like you said before, PoComp, like
Yeah.
that. Just today, the CLG versus Albus. What was it?
Albus
ALX.
Nox Luna.
Albus Nox Luna. Yeah,
Yeah.
CLG drafted PoComp, like Jason the top lane, Elise jungle, Karma mid lane, and then
Lucian.
was it
Lucian,
and
Nami.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, do you really need a tank if your cannon's going in there and stunning everybody? Well, if you can kill them all in that time span,
Right, or,
probably
like,
not.
If you're not even going to try to get into team fights like with a
Yeah.
PoComp, it's not necessary to have that. So if you can try to find like some team synergy throughout Champ Select, go with that. If you're not seeing any real pattern develop, defaulting to sort of, kind of what Badger said, tank, off tank, mage, DPS, stuff like that, will definitely work out just as well, I think.
And in solo queue, I just say play your best champion.
And I think that falls
Yeah.
into the next
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
as well. Like, if people aren't showing who they're going to pick in your first pick, do you try to go for like the meta? Do you try to go for a specific team comp, or do you just kind of pick whatever?
I mean, if it's solo queue, I just pick what I want to play,
Yeah.
especially if no one's showing anything. And I'll often, if I'm a late pick, not show, or sometimes I'll show, sometimes I won't. But if I'm not showing, it's usually because I'm waiting for you to pick something, and then I'll pick
Right.
around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of this. I don't like being the first pick. I'd much rather pick for the team than pick like my favorite champion or something like that. Not saying I still won't pick them, but it's if your first pick, be the one to start setting up the comp. Have the
Yep.
faith in the rest of your team to kind of fall in around that.
When the other team has a Katarina and a Rengar, and you don't have any CC, always pick Jungle Yi.
Yep.
No.
Don't
Just-
ever pick Jungle Yi.
Actually, no, don't pick it.
Cheese
if you're
versus
thinking about
cheese,
playing
man.
Jungle Yi, just uninstall the game.
Don't do
Please.
that. Don't do that.
Not that I don't like you, I just never want to see you in game.
You just
Sure, you're a lovely person.
you're just really.
Yes.
I'm sure you played against a really good Yi that just schooled your
No,
ass.
they're not that good, but they just win.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that seems accurate.
Yes, I am 100% made of salt.
Mm.
I am distilled our League of Legends.
Well, League of Legends is happier right now than I've ever seen them in a long time.
Yeah, the way the
feels
community's
wrong.
getting
That's true.
everything they
It
want.
feels wrong.
Yeah. You know that'll last like maybe a day and a half though.
It's already over. Go check new.
Damn it.
Sandbox. Still waiting for Sandbox.
Yeah.
Right,
Uh,
please.
I think we got time for one more question here.
Right.
Okay. And I think we can do this one pretty quickly. So Ryan writes in and says, "Hey guys, I've started listening to the Trinity Force podcast. I've been playing League for about a year now, and I didn't really start playing ranked until about 5 months ago. I'm currently Silver 4, looking to make it to Gold. The problem I am finding is I bounce around a lot playing all roles. My best top laner is Renekton with 56% win rate. In mid, I main Annie with 64% win rate. In the jungle, I play Rengar with 54% win rate. Support, Nami or Thresh, both around 52. 80 carries is my weakest role, so I'm playing a lot of it right now. I play Lucian with around 50% win rate. I feel like I hit a wall with climbing. My summoner name is... wondering if I need to find a permanent role or should I just keep playing multiple roles?
I don't quite. I mean, given I didn't look up your summoner name, so maybe the data would be available there. I did that, but
I did when it
if-
first came in. He had like a pretty decent amount of games, enough to like say the stats are semi-reliable.
Yeah, but if he has all these 50+% win rates. What wall did you hit? I
Good
don't
point.
understand that part of
Yeah,
the
like-
question.
Well,
like,
like, say-
are these
well,
just
like-
your highest win rates?
Yeah,
in
that's the
these
thing.
given
I
roles?
think, like he's playing other ones and not
Yeah.
doing so well with
Well,
them.
then, if so, like, dude, one trick it up if you're trying to get the gold.
I'm sure
Like-
Annie for
No,
sure.
it's more like a 4 trick with this.
Play
but,
Annie and then play, I guess, Renekton. Those are your highest percentiles. Queue up mid and top. Pick those two champions. Gain elo. Go to bed
Off
happy.
I do want to jump on the hitting a wall bit because there's two different walls you can really hit. You can hit a wall with rank, and that's what I'm guessing he's talking about. But you can also hit a wall in terms of personal improvement, where you feel like you're not getting better.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume it's more of the rank.
Mm-hmm.
You say,
Yeah.
yeah, silver 4, looking to make it to gold.
So yes, so I'd say if the wall you have is the ranked wall, and you still feel like you can get better, then you'll be getting better, and like as you get better, you will climb.
Mm-hmm.
The problem you're going
Yeah.
to have is when you run into to the other wall and feel like you're not getting better.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think the biggest thing right now is kind of, I'm kind of with Thallium. One tricking for a while is going to help, but then you'll.
I mean, in the month left, if you want to get to gold, that's your strategy.
Mhm.
If you're looking for long-term improvement over everything, then bouncing around is
But like,
a
Like
way
it
to
all.
do that.
even there, I'd still say like pick one champion or so, maybe two in those. Realistically, if you're going to be bouncing around, it's not going to help you to try to learn all the champions. Like,
Especially
just-
not this season.
Yeah, take your highest win rates. Just pretty much stick to those, and try to play more like the stuff that you like. But
I mean,
Be happy.
yeah. I mean, George, you do bring up a big point, and it's a good philosophical point where, like, your elo is really just a measure of how many games you've won and lost relative to your competition at any given moment. It's not like, a true measure of how good you are, or how much you're improving. It's a measuring stick, but not everything.
mhm.
Especially considering there's always the discrepancy between your MMR and your actual rank, whatever that might be. So if you're really just looking to holistically improve, George is right in that you should probably just ignore LP and Elo and Division and whatever, and just like think about
Think about your play.
what did I do wrong that game? What did I do right the next game? And next season, when you start next season, is a great opportunity to start doing this with the replay system that's coming out.
Right.
And I have Plays TV, and I use it, and I watch my replays, and I clip my things, and I show off how bad I am at Zed. Show off occasionally when my team makes a really good play, and I post it into the sickplays.tv Discord channel. But what I haven't been using it for, and what I should be using it for, I should probably spend more time just watching myself in the early game. And
Mhm.
what I don't do is I don't take notes. I was just thinking about this today. It's like I should actually sit down and write down what should I have done, what didn't I do.
Mhm.
Be more purposeful with my replay reviews, and that would be a better way to like actually improve and to get through this perceived wall of like I've been a stasis. I've been gold 5 for like 3 seasons. I haven't
Mhm.
gotten that much better. I haven't gotten that much worse. But if I'm looking to actually get better, I think that's what I'm going to do next season. Or spend more time with my replays and actually take notes.
All right.
See if I can.
Yeah. So guys, don't forget you got about a month left before ranked ends.
November 7th.
Yeah.
Yep.
So cue
So
it
there's
up.
like 5, I think, community rank nights every Tuesday at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Find some
Well,
people to play
technically
with.
it'd be 4 because the last day of the season is a Monday.
Ooh,
Oh.
Well, there's still 4
Yeah.
days you can get in.
Yep.
Plus, I'm sure
Plenty of time.
whatever else you want to rank up. So I think that'll do it for us this week here on the Four Words podcast. We'll see you next week, and don't forget to main top lane Lucian. That's just gonna be
You're
how
supposed to do that, man.
What?
Come on.
Why don't we just make that the way we close out the show from now on?
Top lane Lucian.
This has been the Four Words podcast. Don't forget to top lane Lucian. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure,
All
let's go
right.
with that.
All right. Okay, guys.
All right.
Top lane
the
Lucian.
top lane Lucian.
Yeah, top
Bye-bye.
lane Lucian later.
Bye.